This is a preview of my development of Multiverse Maze Masters. Multiverse Masters is the name of my island. It's an evolving adventure-based world for elementary education, constantly under construction. My goal is to create worlds appropriate and beneficial for younger audiences in the virtual environment, and it will eventually expand into different subject areas for education. So as you visit the island, you will see it change often and occasionally be in a state of chaos as I experiment with resources and as young students experiment beside me. Currently, I'm working on a game-based maze with a resource area and training area for moving about in the virtual worlds. So in gathering resources, I actually used Dreamworld to download ores to my personal computer and play inside a virtual world that was actually contained right on my computer. I got this through Outworlds and Stormhaven, Port Aurora. You'll see as the base of the maze, so I got a lot of resources from there. Also the conference center, you'll see that as a third level, and that's where a lot of the free resources will be located. In addition, I also used the Avatar Center and the Welcome Center. The Welcome Center is primarily the second level, which will be for teaching movement and controls of avatars. And there's a few other ores like the China ore that I gained resources from. When you gain resources, most of the resources when you're stripping down an ore may be named primitive, like in this example. So whenever you're collecting or taking materials, you want to make sure that you rename them in your inventory so that you can find them later on. Now these pillows I noticed were part of a long section, and each one had a different sit ball in them so that it gave your avatar a different position. So I wanted to be able to copy those. And as you can see, I named them in numerical order. And in just a moment, I'll show you right here the different sit poses. And so this avatar that I am is actually from my Multiverse Dragon Masters theme that I experimented with in the beginning. It was never fully developed into an actual ore. So I've experimented with a lot of different themes, but I've never actually developed a usable, downloadable ore that I could share with other people. So this gives you an example. I raised up a lot of these objects and connected them and then saved them as a large object. This is the actual 3 layers put together. So this is from the conference center. This one's from the top level is from the conference center. It just gives you a quick view. Now, again, my avatar has changed into a child avatar that I collected from the Avatar Center. That was a different ore. And you can see how some of the ores are mixing, like there's still a lot of plants sticking out of things. I'm going to try to simplify it and clean it up as I go. Here, this came from the conference center. These instructions I kept. I may develop my own. I may keep some that are open source, but I will be developing my own educational resources and signs as well. So it's really trying to make it look presentable and kind of developing it as I go along. Down here is where I plan to have practice on getting over objects and walking, because even though you should make your ores accessible and easy to walk through, you're not always going to have that. And so I'll have instructional signs to show different ways to get past obstacles, like jumping over them, or sometimes if you just run quicker, you can get over some. So there's just different techniques that I've learned that you can do. Also the landing, I had to research this week on how to change the landing rather than having it always default to 128, 128, 128, or well, the default landing. So I was able to successfully change my landing zone to here for whenever people first visit the island. I haven't been able to change where home is located, but I did change the landing point. So this the maze will be a game-based So you'll have the blue team, the yellow team. Eventually, I'll have a red and a green team. I had to figure out how to upload textures and actually get them to keep, because whenever I put in a texture, it would disappear. So that was a challenge this week. Also with scripting, I did buy a game HUD, but it doesn't always work well. Teleporting, um, that helps people get around to the different sites. And in gathering all these resources, I also have to make sure that they have full permissions so that I can transfer the ownership to other people, share them. Nothing is going to be for sale. So here is an example of wearing the game HUD, and you have to collect it out of your inventory once you collect it from the landing point. And the only thing I've been able to work with at this point is just collecting gems and getting points and tokens. There's traps and there's quiz boards and prizes, things like that I haven't implemented yet, but this is just kind of the beginning stages. So it shows up on the HUD board as you collect tokens. So back at the landing page, it shows how each team will have its own starting point. And I really want to focus on, like I said, keeping this clean and useful so that other people might want to upload the ore. And through Outworlds, I can actually host a file of the ore on Outworlds if I want to share it, or I can put it on my own website so that people can collect it and share it. And this just shows how I've changed a few things in the Stormhaven ore. I kept a lot of the stuff, but I hope to change it and customize it more so that it doesn't look like just a reproduction of a free ore that I picked up. I liked leaving some of the walkways up in the air to help teach mobility and just give people practice of walking in difficult areas. So then if you walk off the ore, you find walk off the pathway, you fall in the ocean. And I love the fact that you have the option of many different levels. You see the underwater scene. I don't think I'm going to develop this for this ore, but this would be a great mermaid underwater little adventure thing that could be just fun or educational as well. And I found that a lot of times with ores, leaving a lot of room for other people to develop, they appreciate rather than simply filling it up with a lot of resources. Okay, and here you see my dummy avatar for my testing avatar. I don't like the word dummy avatar. I know that that's a term used in the readings. Basically, I have many personalities, so I've created several different avatars, as well as having my daughter have her avatar that I use for testing to make sure that everything works the way it should work. So one is a child avatar, the other is an adult avatar that's been resized and customized. And that's the development summary of the first week of development of this new Multiverse Maze Masters ore.